Hey everyone, it's Rob from the ProWresBlog, back again. www.prowresblog.blogspot.com. Hey, today we're reviewing another Primetime. We have WWF Primetime Wrestling from February 23rd, 1987. There's no reason I really chose to review this. I just wanted to choose a prime time, and I thought I'd pick something on a different date. So, we got this. But it ended up being a good call, and you'll see why in a minute. We had our usual banner to start the show. Apparently, Bobby Heenan finally turned Andre on Hogan to kickstart the WrestleMania 3 angle sometime before this, and Gorilla was just shocked. He was really surprised that Bobby finally got Andre as a client because he never thought that would happen. And they ran down the different card. Heenan took credit for bringing in all the celebrities, and Gorilla made a joke here about, oh, he invited them all. Is he going to pay all their, all their expenses and all that? And Bobby, of course, said no. Um, Heenan still didn't believe that Hogan would actually do the match, so he said he needs to see his signature in ink in order to make sure it happens. Next up for the first match of the day, we had Kamala versus George the Animal Steele. And I was really bullish on seeing this one. I didn't think this had any hope, but I actually kind of liked it. They just kind of stuck to being goofy and just doing their thing. And more importantly, they kept it short. So it would have been awful with 20 minutes, but, I don't know how long it was, but it wasn't that bad. The interesting parts here were the Gorilla Monsoon saying that Wizard claims to be a direct contact of the Grand Wizard, who he claims to be somewhere around 40,000 feet. If you don't know, the Grand Wizard was an older manager in the WWF, and I always kind of wondered if there was anything going on because you had the Wizard and then the Grand Wizard, So I don't know. I just thought that was an interesting little line. Johnny V and Gorilla were on commentary here. Johnny V was really funny. He made a lot of really funny lines, and yeah, they had a really good one here. Gorilla looked at George and mentioned how he's bald. He said, "Grows everywhere, but on top." Johnny V said, "Well, grass doesn't grow on a busy street." I like that. Um, George did Kamala's belly slapping early, which I thought was funny. Gorilla compared George to the Cro-Magnon Man. And Gorilla had this funny thing to say when Kamala was beating his belly. He said, "Beating the war drum or ringing the dinner bell. One of the two." I like that. George looked at Kamala's stars and was mesmerized by them. He touched it and tasted it, which I thought was funny. And then they kind of went like right to the finish after that. I guess because they knew there was no way it would be a good match, so which is cool with me, and they kept it short. Kim Chi threw in his whip, and I didn't really see it, but somehow Kamala used it on George's throat. He laid him down and did the big splash off the top, which Johnny didn't believe, which Johnny V didn't believe. That was a really cool spot. And Johnny V said on George, "He's cold out there like a Jewish salami. He's hot." Yeah, I just like this match. It was pretty entertaining, and it had a nice freak show aspect to it, and they kept it really short. That's the way you do these kind of matches. Heenan had a really funny line as they talked more. Heenan said his first pick to sing the national anthem at WrestleMania 3 would have been Nikolai Volkov. I agree. That would have been a good one. They had a Terry Gibbs versus Jose Luis Rivera match. I thought this one seemed like something that really shouldn't have aired on TV. I mean, this is low on the card, man. This is really low. It wasn't good at all. It was awful. Luis Rivera was really bad. I mean, just bad at everything. His punches stunk. He tripped over. He tripped when they do the hop over, and he like tripped into the ropes and looked really goofy. And Gorilla mentioned Luis somehow had a win streak going into this. I was surprised by that. One cool note here was Johnny V foreshadowed bringing in Demolition. He mentioned that he has a new tag team coming up called the Demolition, and Gorilla even heard of them. He said they were Axe and Smash, and he said they were strange but strong fellows. And yeah, and this is the old Demolition, the original gimmick where they wore those really weird face paint and the fuzzy boots and all that. So that's right. Um, Gorilla even noticed that no one cared because he said, the crowd was hushed in anticipation, meaning they weren't, going wild for this at all. Rivera won with a sunset flip. It was really bad and boring, and I'm glad it's over with. They started talking about the midgets in preparation for the WrestleMania 3 tag with Bundy, and I don't remember who his opponents were at the moment, but Lord Littlebrook was one of them, and there was someone else against Hillbilly Jim, the Haiti Kid, and Little Beaver. And Haynes had some really funny lines. Haynes said on the midgets, "They're just our resident mascots. They're not members of our family. They're kind of like a pet." And they said, like Coco Beware, he's got a bird and I've got two midgets. And Bobby even foreshadowed the midgets getting squashed in the corner, which was kind of funny. They had a snake pit with the Honky Tonk Man. It was basically just Honky Tonk Man doing his usual shtick and claiming to want to sing. And Jake didn't let that happen. He kept teasing him with the snake and putting it in his face. And finally, when Honky Tonk Man went to sing, Jake scared him off. And then this was the infamous angle because after that, Honky Tonk Man walked out of the set, and Jake kind of went chasing them behind a little bit, and Honky Tonk Man snuck around with his guitar and absolutely plastered Jake. He really nailed him, and the reason he really nailed him was because it was a real guitar. Apparently, someone somewhere forgot to gimmick it, and there's various claims on what happened. Jake claims that Honk knew that it was a real guitar they hit him with, and Jimmy Hart also apparently claimed that it also knew that Honk knew it was a real guitar. And Jake ended up getting a neck injury from this, and he blamed a lot of different things on this angle because I don't remember all of it, but he said it caused him to drink more and stuff like that, if I remember. And Honky Tonk Man beat him down with the guitar, and what can you say? I mean, it was a real angle in a way because Jake really did get hit. Um, it was an okay angle, nothing too special. Heenan, of course, made a joke. He said Damien didn't help him much there, did he? We went over the WrestleMania 3 card, and then we jumped into Billy Jack Haynes versus King Harley Race. Harley Race was really good here. I liked Harley. He was bumping all around like a madman. Billy Jack wasn't that good though. Just no real connection with the fans, no fire, and it just went too long for him. I don't know. When I watch Billy Jack Haynes, he's just always weird in the ring. I don't know how to put it, but it's like he sometimes forgets that there's a crowd out there and he just kind of wrestles, and that's what it was here. So this one ended up in a DQ. Heenan jumped in and nailed him in the back while Haynes had a race in the full Nelson. Jesse and Bruno were on commentary here. They were the only two. And that never happened, so that was kind of interesting. They weren't too bad of a team. One of the good things about Heenan being being a host of Primetime here is that when they air his matches, he can talk a little bit more about what happened. And Heenan said that he jumped in because Race's hair was pulled on the full Nelson, and the ref Dick Worley wasn't doing anything about it, so he thought he should do something about it. All right, to prepare us for the WrestleMania 3 Mixed Midgets tag, we had Cowboy Lang versus Lord Littlebrook. Gorilla made a funny comment here because Alfred Hayes and him were on commentary. He said, "Well, we know who Alfred is cheering for." This actually wasn't a bad match. They did go to the midget spots and the usual comedy stuff, but up to it, it really wasn't bad. Lord Littlebrook is really, he's really kind of charismatic in a way. He maybe not charismatic, but he's personable. Like he screams and make noise, and he's in there. I thought he did a good job of that. He definitely tried to bring the attention. They worked some holds, which was pretty interesting, and did a little bit of technical stuff. Littlebrook threw Lang into the corner and mashed his head off the turnbuckle, and Lang hawked a loogie right into the camera. It was absolutely hilarious. And he even spat on his own head, which I thought was really funny. And they kept it on. They kept the shot on there instead of switching spots. So they're filming this thing with a giant loogie on there. I thought that was hilarious. Littlebrook sold a lot, and Heenan made more jokes. Heenan said, "You know something about Lord Littlebrook? He happens to be the illegitimate child of Lord Alfred Hayes. I have documented proof on that." Gorilla wasn't buying it, and then Heenan made a little bit more jokes. They continued on, and Lang went to the bite in the butt spot, and Littlebrook wiped his butt on the ropes. That was kind of funny. And Lang ended up winning with a rolling leg cradle. A rolling leg cradle, a la Manami Toyota. And it wasn't bad. I liked Littlebrook selling, and it was a little bit funny, and I thought it was pretty entertaining. I guess not an all-time classic, but it was better than I expected. Heenan made more jokes. He said, probably pound for pound, the toughest midget ever, distant cousin to Chief J Strongbow on Little Beaver. And I made a Bob Uecker joke. We had a Jimmy Jack Funk versus Blackjack Mulligan match. Jimmy Jack was the star here, I think. He really bumped big for Mulligan and made him look a lot better than he really is. We had Piper and Mean Gene in the seats of an empty arena, and Piper was saying that he would retire after WrestleMania 3. Um, they kind of said that it was due to his movie career, and he said he really wanted to make sure he took care of Adrian Adonis before he finished. Bobby Heenan wasn't impressed. And we next went into the Islanders, so Bobby made an Islanders joke. WrestleMania 3 would be at the Pontiac Silverdome, so he said, "Did you hear what happened to the Islanders? They thought they were going to WrestleMania and sat over 8 hours in a Pontiac waiting for something to happen." Pontiac's the car, in case you don't know. We had the Islanders versus Al Navarro and Joe Mirto. The Islanders were really pretty good here. They were fiery, and they were moving. Haku hit some great jumping kicks, and Tama did a really nice superfly splash off the top, and they won in a quick spot. And they won in a quick squash. There we go. Got it right that time. All right. We next went to the main event. We had Hulk Hogan versus King Kong Bundy. Hulk Hogan nailed a fan when he came to the ring. Some fan wouldn't get off him, and he just kind of let him have it upside the head. Thought that was real funny. This was super heated. I actually really liked this match. The crowd was so into it. You could tell it was absolutely jam-packed here. Everyone was standing up, and it felt like a big match. Hulk didn't come out to Real American here. He came out to some other music, and I don't know what it's called, but I really liked it. It kind of fit him in this one. Hulk also came out in all white, so this was pre kind of real Hulkamania days. So that was kind of interesting. Again, this was a pretty good match. Bundy goes a little avalanche in, and they did the usual Hogan formula where Hogan takes a beating and makes a big comeback, and the crowd just ate it all up. The finish happened here with Hogan doing a body slam on Bundy. Bundy was running in from the corner, and Hogan slammed him, for the easier slam. Hogan did his poses while the crowd went nuts, and they on not on purpose, but they zoomed in on Hulk, and there was a funny sign that said "Porky Pig Bundy." I don't know, it just amused me. So the pace was good here. The crowd was hot. The work was pretty good, and I liked it. Near the end, when Bundy got pinned, they showed a replay, and Jesse said that Bundy got his shoulder up on 3. I didn't see it because I watched, but Jesse really argued it, and Heenan did too when they came back. They previewed WrestleMania 3 a little bit more, and they were saying it's the biggest match of all time, and they really put it over. They made it seem like a big event, and they did a pretty good job of that. To close the show, Heenan gave Gorilla a first-class ticket to the secret training location of Andre the Giant for WrestleMania 3 to close the show. Gorilla had been claiming they wanted to speak with Andre about the match, and he wouldn't, so Heenan told him where to go. He told him not to give out the directions, though. Alright, everyone, that one about wraps this up. Overall, I really enjoyed this one. The second half was pretty good with the midgets, the Islanders, and Bobby Heenan was really funny, and the main was good. I also did kind of like Kamala versus George Steele, surprisingly, and Jimmy Jack Funk was really good too. So I recommend this one. I had a lot of fun watching it, and I think there's a little bit something for everyone. Alright, everyone, to see the full review, to see all the pictures and gifs, check out www.ProWresBlog.blogspot.com. www.ProWresBlog.blogspot.com. Thank you.